ZAPU Secretary General explained and reviewed 3 major challenges facing organizer of 31 July protest, which was scheduled around Zimbabwe, with my citizen mnyika Zimbabwe achanga achipinda mu street achipikisa pamusoro pechiitiko checonstitutional amendment bill number 3 apo pakapiwa maoni akasiyana-siyana nehurumende yeZANU-PF ende zuva nezuva iri kupa maoni. Ende takaona zvakare ZAPU iyi yakasenda bepa rakasenda kumapurisa Zimbabwe Republic Police kuti vachange vachiitawo protest, asi bepa ravo rikuratidza kuti mapurisa haana kuda kuresponda. Kusangana kwataita zvakare pana pachannel yenyu yeMagaba News patinobata nhau dzinenge dzichiitika munharaunda nemunyika yedu yeZimbabwe, tichingokurudzirana kana uri mutsva ndiwo mukana wekubaya button rakanzi subscribe nekutena notification bell kusvika patinoposta nhau idzi unova uri wekutanga kusangana nenews dzatinenge taisa. Today tauya takabata nhau iri kutaurwa neZAPU Secretary General anova auya achipa ruzhinji achiexplaina zvinhu zvavari kusangana nazvo zvinova ari machallenges pamwe chete neurongwa hwavari kuronga peaceful protest yekunyunyuta vachichema pamusoro pekuchinjwa kwebumbiro remutemo renyika yeZimbabwe. So ZAPU yakanotify police ahead of the protest, and secretary wacho explain kuti patakanotify atichinyora tichizivisa pamusoro pemutemo weMopa Act. Mutemo uyu unobvumira kuti vana venyika yeZimbabwe vanoita protest, asi zvinhu zvavanofanira kuita protest vanofanira kuita ine runyararo ichiteedzera mutemo, asi vari kutaura kuti hurumende yeZANU-PF yakadzivisa zvinhu zvese izvi ichitaura iyo ichiti munyika yeZimbabwe hamusi kubvumirwa kuti vanhu vaite protest. So nhau iyi yaita kuti igosumudza mutauro pakasiyana-siyana apo paita kuti Secretary General weZAPU ataure mashoko andauya ndakabata. Ngatizwei mashoko ataurwa naSecretary General.
There are 3 challenges around the issue of the 31 July protests. Challenge number 1 is the fact that government has already said the protests are illegal. It is said that the country's laws, and one of the laws is called the Mopa Act, that allows protests and governs and regulates how protests are done. But sadly, government has been quick to say these protests are illegal. We have already given a notice to the police to say we need to protest in compliance with that law. But still, government has hired people, influencers and ZANU-PF members to say the protest is still illegal. That is the first challenge that we are having. These protests are not illegal because a notification has been sent to the police. Challenge number 2 is that the protests for July 31 for the longest of time have been organized without a face, without a leader. And the challenge with that is that no one was taking initiative and responsibility to go to the police and get it cleared so that the protests comply with the laws of the land. So what ZAPU has done, we have taken that initiative and we have written to the police just to try and solve that particular challenge. Challenge number 3 is that our political leaders in opposition and our influencers in activism space seem to have been intimidated, afraid, or they have been bought. That is why most of the people that you expect to be saying something about 31 July are quiet. They do not want to take responsibility. They do not want to mobilize. However, should 31 July be a success, they will come and tell us that they're organizing behind the scenes, and that would be a lie. I am calling on the people of Zimbabwe not to put too much trust on big names, influencers, or anyone. The challenges that they're facing affect them directly. They must make sure they do the right thing.
So mazvinzwira zvanga zvitaurwa naSecretary General as Zimbabwe approached the planned 31 July demonstration. The Secretary General of ZAPU has outlined what he believes are the challenge facing the planned protest. His comment focused on legal procedure, organizing and public participation, will encourage Zimbabweans to maintain peaceful and acting within the law. According to the ZAPU Secretary General, one of the biggest challenges is the government position that the planned demonstration are legal. He added that the Zimbabweans law, particularly the Maintenance of Peace and Order Act, provide a legal framework that regulates how public demonstrations should be conducted. He explained that ZAPU has already submitted a formal notification to the police in line with the requirement of the law. Based on that process, he maintained that the demonstration should not be automatically be described as legal. In his words, the government has already said the process are legal, but one of the country's law, the MOPA Act, allows the protest and regulate how they are done. We have already given notice to the police in compliance with that law. These protests are not legal because a notification has been sent to the police. He further claimed that despite the notification being submitted, government official, ZAPU members and some social media influencers have continued describing the demonstration as legal. He said this has created confusion among members of the public ahead of 31 July. The secretary then spoke about what he described as a second major challenge. According to him, the demonstration were initially promoted without a clear identified leadership structure. He said this made it difficult for anyone to take responsibility for engaging with the police and ensuring that all legal procedures were followed. Explaining ZAPU's involvement, he said the protest for July 31 for the longest time has been organized without a face, without a leader. No one was taking initiative and responsibility to go to the police so that the process comply with the law of the land. What ZAPU has done is take the initiatives and write to the police to resolve that challenge. He said this step was intended to ensure that those wishing to participate could do so within the legal frameworks governing public demonstration. The secretary also raised that what he described as a third challenge. He expressed concern that some opposition political leaders and activists have remained largely silent regarding the planned demonstration. According to him, our political leaders in opposition and our influencers in the activism space seems to have intimidated, afraid, or they have been brought. That is why most of the people we expect to be saying something about July 31 are quiet. He added that if the demonstration are successful, some individual may be claimed they have been organizing behind the scene. A claim he said you do not accept. Indeed, he encouraged Zimbabweans to focus less on prominent political figures and more than their own responsibility as citizens. He said, I'm calling on people of Zimbabwe not to put too much trust in big names, influencers, or anyone. The challenges they are facing affect them directly. They must make sure they do not They do right thing. In any earlier message shared on media, the ZAPU Secretary General also urged Zimbabweans to remain calm, disciplined, and peaceful as July 31 approaches. He said the demonstration had been formally notified to the police and encouraged citizens to exercise their constitutional right responsibly while respecting the law. The planned July 31 demonstration have generated significant public discussions with the different political party, civic organization, and government officials expressing different views about the planned event and their legal status as the date draws closer. Attention will remain on how authorities respond, how organizers proceed, and whether the demonstration take place peaceful in accordance with the Zimbabwean law. For now, the ZAPU Secretary General says his party priority have been to ensure that legal notification procedure have been followed and to encourage peaceful participation, while urging Zimbabweans to remain calm and disciplined regardless of different political opinion. What are your thoughts on this issue raised by ZAPU Secretary General? Share your views in the comment section below. Remember to keep the discussion respectful and constructive. Zimbabwe ndona uri kubuda ndo zvinhu zvekutaurika. So vakuru veZAPU vari kuti tsamba yatikaendesa kumapurisa tichitaura about a peaceful protest here yakaita tsamba yekuti timirire ruzhinji sezvo panga pasina leaders or any political leaders akabuda achiti isusu tisi tiri kutungamira protest iyi. So vari kuti ndo challenges ataisangana nawo. So isusu patikaendesa tsamba yeye ndeyekumirira ruzhinji kuti aiwa tikumirira macitizen munyika yeZimbabwe. So wataura vachiti pachitiko ichi zvakare tisifanire kumirira maopposition chiti ningi kana asina kutaura hatiende. So now iyi yaita kuti igotenderedzwa munyika yedu yeZimbabwe sezvo vanhu vari kudhonzerana nekuda kwekuti vanhu vari kutya bato reZANU-PF kuti zvarinotaura ndozvo zvarinoita panguva iyoyo. What's your take on this issue? What's your take on this news? Ndizo na udza tayo tukabata pano pa channel yenyu ya Magaba News.